This is reposted.
Robyn Stevens is a race walker that competes on the highest level, currently at the 20,000K race walk, and is currently training for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. I said that right. They're still calling it 2020. Most recently went to the World Championships in Qatar to represent Team USA. And to get us started, I want to start with a quote from a piece that you wrote titled A Shade of Gold. And you said, "Each ripple beautiful because experience assures and has shown us that ripples eventually smooth." I really like that. It's really well said. I think it's interesting. You stopped competing in 2014, but made a comeback. So, like, you've had an interesting journey. But like, what does that mean to you?
Uh, um, well, when I wrote that, what I what I meant is there's a lot of challenges that are going to come in life, and I was just thinking at that time when I wrote it, that was about 2 or 3 years ago. I had been going through some added challenges with the coaching experience, and was imagining myself when I was a little girl and when I would try to skip rocks and I would watch the ripples, and then I was trying to have empathy with the pond that I was imagining and thinking, well, I was skipping the rocks trying to create this beauty where the pond was probably surprised by it and it's causing this upheaval, and maybe the fishes underneath are scurrying away and because they don't know what just happened, and then they look up and they just see these beautiful ripples, and then it smooths again and everything's okay. And that's pretty much how I go through life, is thinking that every challenge that I've had is for a reason, and to find the beauty in that, because there's beauty in every challenge. There's advantages and strength building opportunities for every challenge. And so it's going to smooth and make sense. So by smoothing, it's going to make sense. And
Yeah.
because that's pretty much how my life has been, my life journey and trajectory has been going. So there's no right path for everything, and you just go with it.
In that same piece, you talk about a race that you're going to compete in, and you say the race would become a full test of my intrinsic belief in my abilities. Is that how you approach races, and that you're not necessarily going against other people, that it's always about yourself more than it is competing against a person?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I'm always curious on what my best is. Everybody is capable of amazing things, and I'm curious what my ability is. So when I'm out there and in any endeavor that I am, whether it's competing, a job endeavor, a project that I've taken on, I just want to see what the best I can do, and navigate everything that I can. Like what kind of skills can I develop? What's the best that I can do.
Yeah. So Larry and I have been following the Tokyo Olympics. You've probably been following, well, you've been following it a lot more closely. Like, what has it been like? Like, we thought it was going to be last year. Now it's this year without fans. And if there's another spike, it's going to get called off altogether. But like, what's going on from your perspective?
So Japan's doing the best that they can to make sure that they're still going to be able to host it and safely for everybody. Um, the From my perspective, I'm just training as if everything's. I'm trusting that they're doing what they can. Everything, control the controllables, and I believe that everybody in Japan are trying to do everything they can to make sure everything's going to be safe and for the athletes and everybody in that community over there. And I'm doing everything that I can. It's going to be a little bit different. I'm a little nervous. I want to make sure I make the team first. It's not confirmed until June 26th. But getting on that plane, I'm hoping Nick Christie, my boyfriend's also a race walker, will be able to pull off making the team as well, so that we can at least be on that plane together and on that starting line. And because usually my family meets up with me, or every time we leave country, I'll race, and then we'll spend a week traveling the country together. So it's going to be a little bit different, because this journey has been a long one. Started in 1998, 1997 with my parents, and I would love for them to be there. And unfortunately, they can't, because they're not allowing spectators from out of country. So it's just trying to make the best of what's there, and I'm just grateful for any opportunity that's available in whatever form that's safest for everyone.
So the journey for you has been long. Your races are long to begin with. Your training for an Olympics, a worldwide pandemic happens. How did that change your perspective of training and maybe just life?
Not much has really changed as far as COVID.
No, just in terms of like you set a date when you think you're going to be in the Olympics and it kind of gets pulled out from underneath you. Then how do you recalibrate?
Uh, it doesn't really feel like I'm recalibrating much, because I just feel like I'm constantly recalibrating, if that makes sense. I don't really do things in a sequential order, or like I have my own plan, and I think that kind of fits with distance athletics, in that I do what works for me, and whatever works for me within the context of what's working for everyone. So I don't know. I mean, 2004 was my first Olympic trials, and I got injured, and I had to recalibrate from there. I got an eating disorder and was injured, and kind of had to just change my entire focus in life and walk away from training, walk away from sport entirely. I wasn't even watching sport. I was so busy in the office, go into the office and get used to that life. So that life was a little bit different when I'm used to being outdoors training for hours, and now I'm in an office for hours or standing on my feet for hours. And that was an exciting time. And then each time that I had to move around a lot. So I went to Wisconsin, and then I'm in San Jose, which is very different from Vacaville, which is where I grew up. And then, I've been living a long time in Tehachapi. So like there's very different environments that I'm just constantly recalibrating to. Growing up, my family, half of them live in, most of them live in Utah or Arizona or California. So we're constantly moving around. My parents would drive us all over the United States, just camping and visiting family. So just in my head growing up, it was like, oh, okay, I don't like saying goodbye or like moving on from something as a little kid. So every time I had to leave a loved one or a place, I would just tell myself, well, every day is a new day. This is a new moment. And I'd recalibrate then. So that pretty much helped me through 2004. And then in 2014, March 8th, I hit my head, got a minor concussion for 4 months. So I had migraines for 4 months, and that's what returned me to this. And I had no plans to return to athletics at all. I was doing commercial modeling and freelance work and enjoyed my work. And then working for a financial firm, enjoyed my boss was amazing, mentored me there. So I was pretty much, focused on finishing my my CFP to become a financial planner, and just didn't even plan on returning to this. And then but I started getting aches and pains, and I asked my doctor what I could do, went into race walking. Still, up until 2016 trials, I was still thinking I'm just doing this for fitness, and trials just happened to work out that I qualified for. But after that, I got injured right before, and I still want, I could have placed top 3 if I wasn't injured, but I got injured right before again. And it was just like 2004, like a month before trials, again in 2016, a month before trials. So I was like, okay, in 2004, they kept me on the sidelines. 2016, I'm thinking, okay, I'm getting older. I don't know how much time I have left. Nobody does. So I'm just going to get a doctor's authorization and just race. I just want to race. So that was my goal. And I just raced even though I was injured, and finished that. And then I decided, I was talking to my boss, the financial firm, Ron Peterson, and he was like, you should just finish out the tax season this year and then focus the next 4 years on 2020. And I was like, I don't know, like I really enjoy doing this, but I need financial security and stability, and race walkers don't make much. But he's like, but you have the talent, and you're not, like you can't just. I was squeezing in training within an hour's lunch, and then not taking lunch, so I was just squeezing in an hour. So that means no warm up, no cool down. I'm not getting my stretching done. Sometimes if I couldn't fit it into lunch, I would do it at midnight. So I'm like just fitting it in. He's like, that you're not giving your body that full benefit of what your potential is. So he's like, so just take some 4 years where you're just focusing entirely on this journey and finish it, because you have an unfinished business. And I was like, yeah, I feel like I do. And I compare, I want to see my parents. I want my parents to see me finish this story, and I want to see myself finish this, because obviously I feel like things happen for a reason, and it brought me back. And, here I am on that, in 2016, I'm on that starting line, and I felt so strong. And the only thing keeping me back is this taped up calf. And so I thought I owe it to my body, because when I walked away and when I came back, my oath was, I'm going to be doing this for health entirely. And so I might as well just finish this, but finish it healthily and restored. So then I walked away from the office, and that's what I've been doing for the last 5 years now, because of the delay with COVID. And yeah, like
That's a crazy journey. Well, before we get you out of here, I saw on your Team USA profile that you own at least 53 wigs. Can you?
Yeah. So I'm not very good at doing my own hair. And before I returned to athletics, I was doing a lot of commercial modeling and working with photographers, hairstyle. I love doing productions. I love any part of it. Lighting, I'll assist with lighting. If anyone needs a second photographer, I help with that. I love dress. Since I was a little girl, I've collected dress up items, and I like dressing up just how I feel, or my mood, or like my body is my canvas, and this is how I feel. So I would just do that. And in 2012, one of the photographers that worked for a company I was working for went on my Facebook and noticed an outfit I was wearing for a concert I went to. I had gone to an Avicii concert with my then boyfriend at the time. And anytime I go out, I like to dress in the theme for it, or especially around that time, I was just like coming up with different themes to dress up as just on any random day. And so I decided to be the Dinah Kitty. So from Alice in Wonderland, the Dinah Cat. And I had put this together and had a white wig on, and she loved it. So she asked me to come to Not So Silent Night for Live 105, which is a big concert series. And I would be their model, basically, the artist that would approach the other musicians so that they could feel comfortable for photographs and stuff like that. So she's telling me this, and I grew up, my whole family is big into music. And so I'm like, yeah, I'd love to help. So she wanted me to wear that outfit. So I wore that outfit, and, then she invited me to another event that she was doing, and she's like, dress up whatever you want. So it was a lot of fun, but for all these events, I don't like to wear the same thing. So I would come up with different things, but I'm not going to wear the same wig, because then it's like wearing the same hairstyle. So I just started collecting for each event that I would work. I just started collecting various wigs just in case. And then sometimes I would get a call. Because then through that, I started working with other photographers, and they would just call me. One of the benefits is I would be ready. So if they said, oh, I have this event at 6 p.m., would you be able to work all night or on this weekend? I'm like, yeah, what's the theme? What's the, because one of the years it was Elvis themed, and, that was what BFD was Elvis. Another one was hula or whatever, Hawaii. And so I'd ask them, well, what's the theme, or what's the band about? Or if they didn't tell me, I would look it up, and then I would try to come up with an outfit for it. And but my hair was always a problem, because if it's last minute, I don't know how to do it, or I just finished a workout, or I've just been in the office all day. And so I would just throw a wig on so that I could always style it a certain way. Like I had a beehive wig, and I still have them, they're at my dad's in Tehachapi, but
Yeah. I like that approach. I should start doing that.
yeah,
Well, Robyn,
it's easy.
Robyn, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll be cheering you on. Hopefully we will see you in Tokyo. If you want to follow her, she's on Instagram at Robyn Design, ROBYN Design. I'm Andrew for Larry and Robyn saying thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you.